Have you ever been stuck in that loop? You know the one. You're completely hung up on the people who couldn't care less, and the ones who actually adore you, you ignore them.
All right, let's call this what it is, the attraction paradox. And to understand it, let's walk through a scenario that might feel a little too real.
So you've got that one person. They're just constantly on your mind. You are completely hooked.
Except, when you try to connect, it's like talking to a wall. You send this really thoughtful message, and you get a one-word reply hours later. If you get one at all.
Okay, but now think about the other person, the one who texts you back right away, the one who makes it super obvious that they're interested.
And what's your reaction to them? Yeah, a little bit of an eye roll, right? For some reason, all their kindness and attention just feels unexciting.
But here is the most important thing to get. This isn't random. It's not some curse. There's a deep, scientific reason for this whole pattern, and it's all happening right inside your brain. So, let's get into the science of it all. What is actually going on in there, chemically, when you get caught up in the chase?
Well, it all starts with this core idea in psychology called the scarcity principle. Basically, our brains are wired to believe that if something is rare or really difficult to get, it must be valuable.
So when someone is emotionally distant or unavailable, your brain doesn't see a red flag. It sees a high-value prize. It sees a challenge that needs to be won.
And this is where the brain chemistry kicks in. The whole will they or won't they thing, it triggers a massive flood of dopamine. That's the chemical of craving and desire. It is literally the same chemical rush you'd get from a slot machine.
And here is the absolute key takeaway from all this science. That intense feeling, the one you think is love, a lot of the time it's not. It's your brain, addicted to the game, chasing the high of finally winning their validation. Now this is where it gets really interesting because this game connects to something much, much deeper, and that's your own sense of self-worth. You've probably heard this quote, and it holds the entire key. The kind of love you chase is almost always a direct reflection of how you secretly feel about yourself. So just think about it. Imagine, deep down, you don't really have a high opinion of yourself. And then someone comes along who's kind, who's consistent, and who just showers you with affection. Your brain's alarm bells just start screaming. You think, wait a minute, how could they possibly like me this much? Something must be wrong with them. Their affection doesn't match your internal story, so you push it away. But on the other hand, when that distant person ignores you, it feels weirdly kind of familiar. It confirms that nagging belief you have deep down. See, I knew it. I'm not good enough. So here's the big shift in perspective. You're not really chasing that person. You're chasing the version of yourself that would finally be worthy of their attention. If you can win them, you think you can finally prove your own self-doubt wrong. And you know, a pattern this deep doesn't just show up out of nowhere. To really get to the bottom of it, we have to go back, because these blueprints for love are often drawn up in our childhood.
This all comes down to something called attachment theory, and really, it's pretty simple. Our earliest experiences with our parents or caregivers basically teach our nervous system what love is supposed to feel like.
So if love was inconsistent when you were growing up, sometimes there, sometimes gone, you learn to associate the feeling of love with anxiety and chaos. As an adult, you end up mistaking that roller coaster feeling for a passionate spark.
In contrast, secure and healthy love feels stable. It feels peaceful. But if your nervous system is wired for chaos, that beautiful feeling of peace can feel incredibly boring. It feels like something is missing.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. We understand the science. We get the psychology. So now for the most important part. How do you actually break this cycle?
Well, here are 3 things you can start doing. First, the next time you feel that crazy spark, just pause. Ask yourself, is this real attraction or is this my anxiety kicking in? Second, you have to consciously decide to stop the chase. Pull your energy back. Let go of the need to win. And third, and this is the most powerful one, focus all of that energy back on yourself. Work on becoming someone you deeply respect and admire.
Because here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Real, healthy love shouldn't feel like you're in a marathon you're constantly losing. It should feel calm, safe, and peaceful. It should feel like you've finally come home.